Animal Nutrition, Chapter 16 from CBSE textbook. Nutrients. What are the nutrients? The chemical substances of the food are called nutrients and are mainly used for growth and development and energy production. The chemical substances of food are called nutrients and are mainly used for growth, development, and energy production. Animal nutrition, the process of conversion of complex food substances into simple absorbable form is called digestion, and it is carried out by our digestive system by mechanical and biochemical method. So what is digestion? The process of conversion of complex food substances to simple absorbable form is called digestion, and it is carried out by our digestive system by mechanical and biochemical methods. Now the question raises, what is digestion? Okay, the process of conversion of complex food substances to the simple absorbable form is called digestion. Then the question raises here, why digestion? Why digestion? That we said now, the conversion of complex organic molecules into simple organic molecules. If you extend, simple organic molecules which can be diffusible. So why digestion? Why digestion here? Simply we say for absorption. For the question why digestion, the answer will come from us is for absorption. That means, as we know, in the small intestine there are some microvilli. The microvilli are having the blood capillaries here. Through these blood capillaries, our nutrients should pass through this blood capillary to supply to all over the body. That means, of whatever the food materials we are taken, that means whatever the complex organic molecules we are taken, they can't enter into the blood capillaries through the microvilli into the blood capillaries. So the essential thing here, by using different kinds of enzymes, we need to break these particular complex organic molecules into simple, diffusible, absorbable, smallest molecule that facilitate us to go into the blood capillaries that will reach to the blood vessels and from there to be supplied to all over the body. That means, what is digestion? Okay, conversion of complex organic molecules into simple organic molecules. Why digestion? Why digestion? Simply we answer absorption, just for absorption. That means complex organic molecule, when it is turned into the simple organic molecule, they can be easily diffusible through the microvilli into the blood capillaries, from there to be supplied to the blood vessel. From there onwards, we transport that particular foodstuffs into the body parts. Then what are the foodstuffs? Maybe different kinds of food materials in the different countries, the people may eat whatever they eat. The foodstuffs are of three types: carbohydrates, proteins, fats. Among them, we'll discuss about the carbohydrates, the path of carbohydrates here. We said the foodstuffs we are taken here, the complex organic molecules they are. The complex organic molecule. As we said now, we will convert that complex organic molecules into simple organic molecules. That simple organic molecules that make us to absorb them comfortably into the blood capillaries. So, carbohydrates are complex organic molecules. When we say them as a polysaccharide or a carbohydrate, when we digest this particular polysaccharides, carbohydrates, they will be digested in the form of glucose, fructose, galactose, that we will discuss later in the coming. Just I am taking glucose as an example here to understand much better here. What is the use of carbohydrate and what is the path of carbohydrate? Simply we say carbohydrate metabolism. So let's take carbohydrates from the food plate. The carbohydrates are taken by a person through the diet. Carbohydrates enters into the alimentary canal, the gut we say, then there the carbohydrates are digested into glucose in the stomach and small intestine. The carbohydrates are digested into glucose, fructose, galactose, some other. I'm taking glucose as an example here. The glucose and the next in the microvilli, the blood vessels, the blood capillaries which are present in the microvilli are taken this particular glucose, and through the blood capillaries the glucose absorbed into the blood. The glucose reaches to the cells and tissues of the body. So the destination they reached. The glucose reached the destination. From the food plate, the carbohydrates entered through the diet and digested in the form of glucose in the intestine, absorbed in the intestine through microvilli, the blood capillaries, and through the blood flow, they enter into the cells. What we do with glucose? Glucose, we can say it can give energy. So how it gives energy? I compare glucose as with ATM machine. To withdraw the money, we need an ATM card. Who is ATM card? Oxygen is the ATM card. The very frequent equation we used to watch from our childhood, from our earlier classes, that is C6H12O6 plus 6O2, yes, respiration equation. So whatever the glucose now reached into the cells or tissues will break down in the presence of oxygen molecule that gives some 6CO2, 12H2O. Most of you may know this equation. Now I am giving the new term for this, that is giving energy. 38 ATPs we may get from here. So that means here we get energy. This is the path of carbohydrate metabolism. So I come from the beginning. Carbohydrates which are taken through the food stuff, from there through the mouth, enters in the food digestive tract, alimentary canal, and there it was turned into glucose. Digestion, we said, the conversion of complex organic molecules into simple organic molecule. Then they absorbed through the microvilli into the blood capillaries, to the blood vessels they get traveled and reach to the cells. The glucose is reached to the cells. After reaching into the cells, that whenever we require that particular glucose, we break in the presence of oxygen molecule, and that leads to the formation of energy. So this is called carbohydrate metabolism. Carbohydrate metabolism from the food stuff, from the plate to the energy release. So now you may understand the coordination between our digestive system and respiratory system. We should involve our blood vascular system also here, that everyone should coordinate each other to complete that particular process here. It simply we say this is carbohydrate metabolism. The path we can say carbohydrate metabolism. Similarly, let us see the protein metabolism. Protein metabolism here. Protein metabolism. As usual, we'll take it from the food stuff. The proteins will take food stuffs. Please excuse me, I can't draw the plate properly. That just imagine it's a plate. It's a protein. As I think you may not recognize this particular foodstuff, what it is, whatever it may be. Foodstuff, whatever it may be, that contain protein or carbohydrate or fat. The major foodstuffs usually contain this either carbohydrate or protein or fat. So now the proteins taken inside, as usual, our definition comes: conversion of complex organic molecules into simple organic molecule. Simplest form of the protein is going to be amino acid. The protein simplest form is we say amino acids, and these particular amino acids are absorbed back again through the microvilli, through the blood capillaries of microvilli will take these particular amino acids. These amino acids are taken inside, and after that that goes to the blood flow, that particular amino acids and reaches back again to the cells. That amino acids, which through the blood vascular system reach into the cells. What we do with amino acids? We reconstruct these amino acids, whatever we have taken through the foodstuffs, the complex organic molecules we turned into simple organic molecule, and through the blood vascular system they reach to our cells here. These particular amino acids are going to be rearranged in the order. If you recall that protein synthesis process, that the procedure what you learned in earlier classes, like DNA transcription that form the mRNA, when it is getting translated by the ribosomes, these particular amino acids, based on that particular genetic code, AUG, UUU, if you don't remember this, it will come in the coming classes, that the genetic code, based on the genetic code, whatever we have in our DNA, that is represented by our mRNA, transcripted mRNA, that mRNA now read by this particular ribosome. When ribosomes are reading this, for example, if you see AUG, when the ribosome is reading like AUG, the methionine amino acid should come here, because AUG code for methionine. So now question raises, where we get from methionine? Methionine, glycine, alanine, aspartic acid, whatever the amino acid, that we can recall from our story. That what I said now, the proteins are digested in the form of amino acids, and they, through the blood vascular system, they reach to the cells. These particular amino acids who are reached based on our formula, our DNA formula, we rearrange that particular amino acids into a protein. So our body is made up of proteins. Body itself made up of proteins. Our body itself made up of proteins. The different kinds of foodstuffs we are eating, the proteins which we are eating, we digest them into amino acids, and that particular amino acids we again reconstruct, that make us to grow. So by the age, till a certain age we grow. So that is because of proteins. Our body is made of proteins here. That if you can understand, that what do you say, a particular building, a bigger building, that we break that particular building into small bricks here, that the bricks we reconstruct back again into a new building based on our design. We are reconstructing back again into our building. So what I mean, so whatever the foodstuffs we are eating, whether you are vegetarian or non-vegetarian animal eating, whether you are vegetarian or non-vegetarian, that is a building. I compared this with a building here. So we eat that particular, we break them into smaller particles, and all over the particles, whatever the particles, carbohydrates, if it is, this is glucose. If the protein, it is amino acid. I am talking about amino acids. So these particular amino acids, based on our formula, we reconstruct into our own protein. Our own protein. That means proteins of a plant or animal we digest in the form of amino acid, and we reconstruct our proteins. That what we say, this is protein metabolism. Protein metabolism. Yes, let's discuss about the types of nutrients here. As I said now about carbohydrates and proteins and their metabolism. These nutrients fall into two categories in general: organic nutrients and inorganic nutrients. Carbohydrates, proteins, fat and vitamins, we say organic nutrients. Inorganic nutrients, minerals and water. As you can see in the box here, the organic the nutrients are further we classify as a form of macronutrient and micronutrients. Macronutrients as carbohydrates, proteins, fats. That carbohydrates, again we can classify them into monosaccharide, disaccharide and polysaccharides. Proteins as complete proteins and incomplete proteins. Fats as saturated fats and unsaturated fat. Unsaturated fats again into polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats. Let's come to the micronutrients here. Micronutrients, minerals. We usually know that different kinds of minerals are required for our body. Vitamins. Vitamins are again classified into fat soluble vitamins and water soluble vitamins. Let's take one after another here. The macronutrients. So as we said now, the carbohydrate, proteins and fats are the three major energy sources and are called macronutrients, are proximate principles of food. The human digestive system, you can see here that human digestive system in them, oral cavity, mouth, that some of the glands, salivary glands are shown here, submaxillary and sublingual glands, and this is the parotid gland. Parotid gland, submaxillary and sublingual are the salivary glands, which we are going to discuss them in detail after this. Then you see the path of foodstuffs, esophagus, and that opens into the stomach, then into the duodenum. Then after it goes to the small intestine, duodenum itself called part of small intestine. Then we come from jejunum, from there to the colon. Colon is having ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon. We'll discuss in detail the total digestive system of a human being. We'll discuss in detail step by step. Let's come to the mouth here. The mouth, the buccal cavity is lined with a stratified squamous epithelium and contain two important structures, teeth and salivary glands. About the locations, the different the parts of the mouth and surrounding area. When it comes to the cheeks, they are from the lateral walls of the mouth. They hold food in mouth, and muscles function in chewing. Cheek muscles function in chewing. Lips surround the mouth opening, contain sensory receptors used to judge characteristics of food. Tongue occupies the floor of mouth, aids in mixing food with saliva, moves food towards pharynx, contain taste receptors. Palate forms roof of mouth, holds food in mouth, directs food to pharynx. Teeth in sockets of mandibular and maxillary bones break food particles into smaller pieces, help mix food with saliva during chewing. Let's come to the teeth here. The dentition formula. What is dentition formula? Teeth present on upper half of jaw by teeth present on lower half of the jaw. As we have the order for this, first of all we see the I means incisors, then C, canines, PM, premolars and molars. Incisors, canines, premolars and molars. So these particular teeth, incisors, canines, premolars and molars, they are in order. We'll write like this: incisors, canines, premolars and molars. Teeth present on upper half of the jaw by teeth present on the lower half of the jaw. In this order. In this order, we say as a dentition formula. That dentition formula here you can see 2123 by 2123. That means we should apply here. 2 incisors are 2, canines 1, 2 premolars, 3 molars. 2, 1, 2, 3 by 2, 1, 2, 3. That means teeth present on the upper half, incisors 2, canines 1, premolars 2, molars 3. On lower half, incisors 1, incisors 2, canines 1, premolars 2 and molars 3. That means on the upper half we'll get about 8 and on the lower half also 8. One side of the half of the side is having 16 and other side if you make that you can see 32 teeth we can see totally here, 32 teeth. And cheek teeth, we have to talk about the cheek teeth. The total number of cheek teeth are premolars and molars. In adult human being, cheek teeth are going to be 20. Who is called cheek teeth? Premolars and molars. In our 2, 1, 2, 3 dentition formula, if you see 2, 1, 2, 3, that last 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, that means 5 by 5. On upper half of the jaw, 5 and lower half of the jaw, 5. That means 10. On other side, we'll see 2 more. That means totally cheek teeth are about 20. What about milk teeth? What is milk teeth? Teeth in the children we say milk teeth. as they don't have the total teeth. You see here something is missed here. What is missed? The last one. That dentition formula here 212 by 212. Actually, we need to say like this 2102 by 2102. That makes us to understand much better. 2 incisors, 1 canines, and no premolars, and the 2 molars. This is the dental formula. 20 teeth are present in the children. Let's see the types of teeth in mammals. Thecodont. What is thecodont dentition? Teeth present in the sockets of jaw. Teeth present in the sockets of jaw. If you remember our ancestrals, that means before the mammals, like in amphibians, that you can see here teeth just attached to the jaw. We say such kind of teeth are acrodont type of teeth. Acrodont. But we are a little bit developed here that the teeth are present in the sockets of jaw. The teeth present in the sockets of jaw. We say thecodont type of dentition. So, teeth present in the sockets are alveoli. We say the thecodont type of dentition. Let's see diphyodont dentition. As we have seen now, the two types of teeth we have seen now, the milk teeth and permanent teeth. Milk teeth, as we have seen in the children, and then after we lose that milk teeth and we get permanent teeth. The 2 times in a lifetime we are getting teeth. That's why we say our teeth as a diphyodont, 2 sets of teeth, that is milk teeth and permanent teeth. Teeth replaced only once in the lifetime. Our teeth we say diphyodont. If you remember earlier, we get in card data, some of our previous group are having polyphyodont type of dentition. That means teeth are going to be formed for many number of times. So that is one of the example. And heterodont, as we have seen now, our teeth is with 4 types of teeth we have: incisors, canines, premolars, and molars. If all the teeth are similar in size and shape, you may call it as homodont. But our teeth is heterodont. That 4 types of teeth are present. That's why we say heterodont. So, thecodont, teeth present in the sockets of jaw, thecodont. Teeth are going to be formed 2 times in the lifetime. Once first time formed is milk teeth and second is formed permanent teeth. Replacement only once. We say diphyodont type of dentition. Heterodont type of dentition. Different types of teeth are present here, but you say heterodont type of dentition. Let's see the structure of tooth. As now I said, the tooth is present in the socket of jaw. So I begin from the socket. This is the socket which is lined by the irregular dense connective tissue sheath. We usually call it as periodontal membrane, the red one which I am showing here. The periodontal membrane, which is made up of irregular dense connective tissue sheath and teeth embedded in the sockets, that we should fill that particular sockets here with I'll take another color to fill this cementum, that connective tissue which fills this particular socket here. This is about the teeth in the socket. Let's discuss more here to understand it much better. That I'll show the socket then again, and earlier I exposed only the periodontal membrane. Now I am showing again. And teeth is enclosed by gums. Teeth, some of the tooth is there in the socket, and some part is enclosed by gums, and some is exposed. So exposed portion of the tooth is called as crown. The part of the tooth enclosed by gums is called as neck. The part of the tooth enclosed by the gums is said to be neck, and the part of the tooth embedded in the socket of jaw is said to be root. There are 3 portions based on their presence here. Exposed part of the tooth is crown, and the part of the tooth which is enclosed by the gums is said to be neck, and the part of the tooth embedded in the socket of jaw is root. And the tooth surrounded by the hardest portion of our body, what we call enamel. enamel. Below the enamel, you can see dentine here. This is the dentine. This is enamel. Enamel we can see. And below the enamel, that we can see dentine. This is the portion we say dentine, which many transverse canals are there. And this is the pulp cavity. This is the pulp opening we say. We use it to say this is the pulp opening. So this is, if you remember it as a complete jaw, in the jaw, the blood vessels and blood capillaries of the jawbone enters into this pulp opening, and this is said to be pulp cavity, where we see many blood vessels and blood capillaries. These are the arteries and veins enters into the pulp cavity. So the basic structure which I am showing here, outermost portion of the tooth is covered with enamel. Then after, you can see below that crown is there, and the Haversian canals of the jawbone is sending some arteries and veins into the pulp cavity through pulp opening. And now we are seeing that the exposed portion of the tooth is crown, and the part of the tooth with enclosed by gums is said to be neck, and the part of the tooth embedded in the socket of jaw is said to be root. So let us revise once about the tooth, what we have seen till the time that teeth dentition formula we said 2123 by 2123, the dentition formula. Total number of teeth on upper half 8, lower half 8, upper jaw 16, lower jaw 16, and total number of teeth are going to be 32. The dentition formula we said 2123 by 2123. As 2102 by 2102 in case of milk teeth, the total number of teeth in milk teeth are going to be 20. And said about some definition, Theekodan. The type of teeth present in the sockets of jaw, we say Theekodan type of dentition. Teeth are found two types in the lifetime. That means earlier childhood gives the milk teeth, and after that will be replaced once by permanent teeth. We form only for two times Iphyodont type of dentition. Heterodont. Four types of teeth. Teeth are in different shapes, incisors, chisel-like edges, canines, cutting teeth, premolars and molars are grinding teeth. Likewise, we have four types of teeth. That's why our teeth are said to be heterodont type of teeth. And here I shown about the socket of jaw, where we see the periodontal membrane that shown in the red color. The periodontal membrane and cementum, which makes the teeth to be fixed in the socket of jaw. Then exposed portion of the tooth we said crown, and the part of the tooth enclosed by gums is said to be neck, and the socket, the part of the tooth in the socket we said root. That's shown here, crown, neck, and root. And after that I said about enamel. The outermost portion, strongest portion of the tooth is enamel. Below that we can see dentine, and there is a pulp opening through which the blood capillaries enters into the pulp cavity. So all about the tooth it is. Then in the next video we go through the remaining portions of the buccal cavity, like a tongue. We'll discuss all of them in the next video. Until then, thank you for watching.